The ballot for the College Football Hall of Fame's class of 2022 will be revealed at 10 a.m. Central Daylight Saving Time Wednesday, the National Football Foundation and the College Football Hall of Fame announced last week. The NCAA Football Bowl Subdivision portion of the 2022 ballot includes 78 players. Will any from Auburn be on it? 8 players from Auburn are members of the College Football Hall of Fame. But the Tigers haven't added to their Hall of Fame roster since Ed Dyas was part of the class of 2009. 24 Auburn players are eligible for the ballot for the class of 2022. That doesn't include 21 Auburn alumni who meet the first standard for consideration for the College Football Hall of Fame but aren't in the current eligibility window. That's 45 players from Auburn with the possibility of becoming Hall of Famers. To be considered for the College Football Hall of Fame today, a player must have been a first-team All-American selection by one of the organizations that the NCAA uses to compile its annual consensus All-American team. Currently, those organizations are the American Football Coaches Association, Associated Press, Football Writers Association of American, Sporting News and Walter Camp Football Foundation. But the selectors used by the NCAA have varied over the years, ranging from a low of 2 to a high of 10. Players aren't considered for the College Football Hall of Fame until 10 years after their final season. They also aren't considered while they are active NFL players. Auburn has 8 players who meet the All-American standard but aren't eligible yet because their final season with the Tigers came in 2012 or later, or they're still playing in the NFL. Defensive tackle Derrick Brown is the most recent Auburn player to join the list in 2019. Players also aren't considered for the ballot if their college careers ended more than 50 years ago, so any player who completed his time with the Tigers before 1972 isn't eligible for the 2022 ballot. Auburn has 13 players who meet the All-American standard but are outside the 50-year window, including notables such as Jim, Ed, Phillips and Zeke Smith. Those players still can be considered for the College Football Hall of Fame, but their qualifications are examined by the Football Bowl Subdivision Honors Review Committee, bypassing the ballot. Brown and Phillips were unanimous All-Americans in 2019 and 1957, respectively. While they are not eligible to appear on the ballot, 3 other Auburn unanimous All-Americans are Brent Fullwood, Ed King and Ben Tamburello. A unanimous All-American is a player who was a first-team selection for all the organizations used by the NCAA to compile the consensus All-American team for that season. A consensus All-American usually is a player who was a first-team selection for at least half of the organizations used by the NCAA to compile the consensus All-American team.